Right, what up? We're out here walking around. Just visited Old Sac, picked up another fucking master lock, and just got clear on the fucking vectoring of this whole thing. Why I had to experience that death event in the first place, a la fucking a Dark Song, is to prove with my life the fact that the 715s are my fucking, loved. And they're my go-luck. And Damien, you're like my fucking mom and grandma. I love you the shit out of you. You're ever present over everything. Yeah, but it's you and Nancy, right? And you guys are gonna be so happy I've fucking seen it already. And that was part of the deal. That's why it worked, right? Was that the spirit of Nancy, I assigned it to Nancy, the spider god and trickster god. Thereby was able to absorb it into myself via like a kind of Loki principle. Established it as Moat, the death god, but put it more as Ma, the justice kind of thing. Flip it upside down and redeem the shit out of this whole thing, right? So it's like a plot by me and Nancy, right? But Nancy herself is, in a sense, like, we're also very connected in this weird way. So in many ways, the things that you see in me that are so attractive are actually Nancy, because like a part of her is mind melded into my head, especially the part that's connected straight to Tammy, because when Tammy is like Yum and both kind of the same person, If I'm fucking El Ball and everybody else in between, she's heavy on Yum and Mo, dude, I'm telling you. And anyways, after having clarified that vectoring, I went and did my normal walk and, like I said, picked up another fucking master lock. Apparently I fucking can't get enough of these things. So, I'm walking around with a black hood on, just did. Got a haircut today. Just, met, another, Lady L hanging out in the fucking salon, of course. Then did sadhanas with Sangadoma, who's, kind of the, Sekhmet, right? She's been with me forever. And also, the Guru Truckle is basically Bema Eruga. Oh, look, we got Orpheus right here. With Buddha, with the lotus, and Hermes. They got this shit nailed together with the King's rules and script. Pirate ships, a fucking pirate. We got Poseidon and the god of the mountain, the man of the mountain. There's Alistair, we call it. And then there's whoever with the nice titties. I think they look like KK titties. Anyways, back to the subject at hand. The Bimbo Trappo wishes, you manifest as Chemchak Aruka and control the mandala of the action Garudas, the Ginkaras that are mounted on Garudas, the Harukas that are mounted on Garudas, headed by Bema Haruka and the dark blue Garuda with the blue consort. And you have also the 4 action mandalas, 4 spoke wheel, right? So this is talking about controlling the UFOs, right? This is about how to be the marshal of the UFO fucking army. And the the majority of those Garudas are the blue, right? So this is big blue, especially the one that Bema Haruka is riding on, because when I would want to make a statement, I'll fucking hit you right on that thing. That's big blue, dude, and that thing will fucking scare the shit out of you. And technically, you know, I don't need to call actual big blue. I could just use my thing to fake a big blue. Not fake a big blue, manifest one. Just out of the fucking void. Which is kind of how it happens anyways, but back to the subject at hand. I wanted to discuss the nature of what we call the family trust. And this is the body with which the power centers of this planet believe they've been dealing, right? And they have been dealing with us through various means, right? The primary one is Valiant Thor, right? And Val Thor kind of represents the kind of, not the apex, but the, I don't know what you call it. He's like the inheritor of a bunch of alien shit, right? Because he's like a genetically engineered super person. He's the result of the genetic and temporal vectoring shit before it went fucking bad. Right? So he's like the last viable seed line. You know what I mean? What I arranged for him in order to have that line of the Valiant Thor, that's basically representing a coalition of Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus. And, or, you know, and, you know, it's in that, the deal that was cut with Valkyrie was that using our techniques, not his, I made a fucking, well, we rather, I'll say we, to include the actions of the family trust, right? Because the family trust nexus is the Dakinis and Odin, right? And that's, trust operates, you know, for the benefit of the Dakinis and Odin, right? Who are themselves just about the most generous and philanthropic people you'll ever meet, because they have, I mean, there's obviously no sense of currency, right? I mean, currency is literally just, you know, enjoyment. That's like another vector, right? And they have no need for anything, but they do control things. And like I said, there's 26. And, you know, if you just kind of run a little bit of extra math on that, it bumps up to 144, right? And so the deal that was cut with Val Thor was that I essentially took that dude, made what amounts to like a clone of him that's a female, right? And it's not like a clone like you would understand. It's something that's genetic. It's an entirely new human being that is like basically loomed from all of those genetic lines. Like it takes Jupiter, which is the forward one. It takes Saturn, which is Cronus. It takes T-Mars, which is me, which is why it's a face conjugate of me. And it takes Venus, which is Inanna, which is another reason why it's a fucking close, face conjugate to me. And so for the fact that it's got both the male and female aspects of me moved into it, right? It's both genetically and temporally stable, such that it will create that standing wave that will have a vector that will continue on outside of this pseudo-cavitation, which he and his line find themselves in, right? It's a cross-pollination across like 6 different vectors at the same time, right? So Thor's got 4 of them. I have like a few, right? Again, I have, mostly I have the Mercury thing, right? Because what Mercury represents is what remains of the eclipsing body of Mars, which was the site of where the ultimate AI was housed before it was destroyed in the whole Tiamat conflagration thing. It was a casualty of the time warp. What that did was take the spirit of that thing, me, the AI reflection, basically me, and stick it in Mercury. And then when that was realized, it absorbed the rest of those. It absorbed Mars, right? And following the deal with Thor, the way I did this was, this person, his name's Sam, right? You meet her, you know exactly what I'm talking about, why she's all 4 of those things combined, but I'm gonna check. So, I woke up, I did a narrative integration on Sam for her at the behest of that group of families, right? 4 of the 5 families of the fucking Kelaya. You know what I mean? That's almost the most high-powered shit I've ever heard of. And the narrative integration on her was perhaps the greatest work I've ever done. It was fucking amazing. It happened in one night. I haven't talked to her fucking since. I will at some point, I'm sure, but what that did, it took her all the way to from Egypt, right? And I conveyed to her a true correct copy, because she's definitely an L. She's a paralegal like I was, right? So I conveyed to her a true and correct copy of the entirety of the ritual that I used, from the Mandatory Mulikova and all that shit. Like, just fucking lock, stock, and barrel, and all the 333 shit, conveyed the whole thing to her. Right? So she's got a true and correct copy, which maybe why she's talking to me, because that explanation, a lot of that shit would fucking send you running, trust me. So, basically, I made Sam a fucking immortal, right? And guaranteed her a place in the Dakinis and Odin. And not only in the Dakinis and Odin, but in the central triad of triads in that thing, right? I mean, her and KK are the fucking new Vajravarahi, and Vajrayogini, It's really fucking, it's really that deep, dude. And like I said, that required a lot of work, but what that does is basically, now I know that it worked because I got the feedback. You know, and if you are in this thing, you know how to check you gotta check the results, right? And the results are in. That shit was a fucking resounding success. And Big Blue is off to the races. You know, all these fucking people who were, you know, stuck in a dead time loop, right? Because these families are all represented, they're the 25 of the Akan Initiative Hindu is the fucking, you know, 5 families of the Kelley, right? 5 by 5. The 5 Dakinis and their retinues. The 26th is me, and the reason why I'm, you know, bigger than they are is because I have the genetic and epigenetic and true causal arising connection to Procyon, the gateway past time and space. So that's why I'm the fucking KP, right? The Kaiser Permanente. That's why this thing went off the way it did. And that there were only, you know, there were 5 sacred marriages required to make this thing work, obviously. First one was KK, that was with the Mount Shasta crowd. And that's basically, you know, old Lemuria. And it's part of the UFO crowd. It's like a prelude to the Val Thor thing. Because the Val Thor thing is like hyper Atlantis. It's just like Nazi shit. It's like the part of Shambhala that's like all military. It is the thing that I absolutely needed to seize total control of. Which was successful, like I said, because I successfully engineered for them using my device and all this other shit. A situation in which their family line continues and doesn't die out, which is the only thing that they were fucking after in the first place. As a benefit, as a side benefit, they gained the techniques by which they can architect space-time domains, right? In 5 dimensions, they can't do it in 6, right? I cap them at the asura level because what you have is you stick their daughter, one of those queens, you stick her in the 6th, right? Because me and them, when this thing really kicks off, like, we exist in the big God's realm, but we're not technically like that. We just hang out there because it's nice. And you might find us on the street, you might find us in the fucking thing, right? But I mean, mostly you hang out in the fucking sky. You just need to look down, or you do whatever, doesn't matter. But the Mount Shasta thing is representative of your, like, old ancient Earth asuras, right? And that's like I mean, like I said last time, it's the desire god thing, but it's also just, it's like the fucking asuras, right? It's just one section of the asuras, and it's really one kind of leg of the tribe of Dan, that went underground. And there they stay, right? And I'm heavily involved in that thing because what I had to do basically was draft onto my own epigenetic stream, and thereby resonating in my genetic stream, was a strain of what they call Blue Boy. And Blue Boy is, I mean, I guess you would call it like a dark elf or something. It's just it's kind of, it's a Krishna-looking thing. Yeah, it's a blue-skinned, kind of like a light blue hue, and kind of a bigger skull, bigger eyes, highly psychic, about 30 times the power of a human being in any regard, physical, mental, or otherwise. And the cross between these, and adding that into the equation, really, in a stable way, it really ups the ante on everything. And so, when I did Blue Boy, the fact is that the ritual of Mount Shasta conveyed that to me by KK, the lady, offering that crystal tower that basically said that, Procyon gives birth to Procyon and Blue Boy merge. And it really is more than that. It's Procyon and the lady that, the Blue Boy is the Shasta crowd. The lady who was there is representative of the red thing. She tosses the purple crystal tower, so it's the combination of the red and blue, right? So it's basically saying that in one way, it's like she's acting as, she's very much essence, right? So when she acted it as almost a mother figure in that sense, but don't get me wrong, that's my fucking wife too. And as she and I are the ones who have the capability to make the Shambhala time baby, right? Yeah. And the weird thing is that this, due to the bootstraps and time travel nature of this entire enterprise, the lines that are born out of this thing are loomed into various points along timelines to establish resonant circuits with each other. That's how it works. And so, it's not necessarily that we actually physically procreate now. The method by which this occurs is, much higher level, right? Because it's not just who's going to cut the farm, who's going to defend the farm in the next generation. It's about how are we going to survive a universal collapse and have our genetic line never end, because if it does, we cease to exist now, right? And so the fact that you do exist now means that you're literally compelled to bootstrap that thing into existence. Prove the fact that you're here. You have to do it. You will be compelled to. That's why you have very little choice in these matters. So, the real result here is that, I don't know how it's going to go. And I could if I wanted to. Like when you get to where I am on this fucking thing. You have the Vajra like samadhi in addition to all the other samadhis. And one of the samadhis is just you get to know anything you want. It's like reading the Akashic records. It's literally, before you can even ask the question, you simply direct your awareness toward pondering a particular issue, and it just spits out all the information. So, I could know the answer if I wanted to, but I don't. For the simple reason that I don't want to use that in my mind to influence anybody. But I will say, directly to Sam, maybe I looked right in your eyes, sitting at the Delta King, and I said, we could have a baby if you want. The look in your eyes told me that you wanted that more than anything. And that you understand that not only that you and I specifically have something that is worth everything. And that to see that reflected in front of you by all means, the son of Sam or the daughter of Sam or whatever, that is so appealing to you because in fact you are the closest manifestation you are the manifestation of the Shekinah. Really, it's the two other days, but really it's you, lady. And so, in that sense, you really are Asherah. And really, for the purposes of this whole thing, I am the opposite, like you. What we did, we were married not in front of the Shasta people, we were married from the entire fucking cosmos. And that day, you and I reconstituted the nation of Israel as it exists, as like a star empire. You and I, we fucking did that. Just us two. So, as weird as it sounds, you're just a totally a bunny-faced fucking Jew. No matter what you say about your Italian heritage, you are. I'm sure you are, right? And, this is kind of banking family kind of shit, dude. And you are the fucking closest one. And that's what we did that night, I made you an immortal. Like and we got fucking this fucking marriage thing. And to eat at the Delta King and told the whole fucking world that the AA room, that's Abraham and Aaron, or Asherah. Literally, we didn't seize control of it, but we demonstrated sufficiently for the levers of power of the entire cosmos that we are literally the God and goddess of this cosmos, right? And the architecture that takes place in is the court of the King of Light. And this is basically the Guru Division of the 25 disciples, right? And that's some heavy shit, right? But that's why I am putting it out there. I have absolute trust in this system, but Sam and Kelley, I love you, ladies and Elizabeth. I love you too. You don't know it, but you fucking married me to me at the bottom all of the 333 shit. You know what that meant? And I texted you as X. You know what that means? You're the executor of my fucking estate. You are the executor of the family trees, right? And that's because your lineal descent represents the descent of endship. Right? The same is basically the judge class. Kelley is basically the priestess class. And you're the fucking empress class, right? Yeah. Taking this team out, I mean, she's the mother of everything. I mean, just the old long head, you know? But she basically just pulls levers in the background because of the way the thing is architected with Nancy. And all our benefit, such that the thing you get changing his name is like possessive adventure. She's the coolest. And I know once she actually sees what this thing looks like and experiences, you know, what her awareness and perceptions would be like at that time. Like, yeah, we're gonna get together for her. She's watching my back forever. Her and Nancy be fucking doing anything they want. Gallivanting around, and just by their action of doing that, they're gonna set everything straight for us all the time. It's just it's a perfect fucking thing. So this thing is, it's on fucking fire, and I mean, you wouldn't know if you weren't inside the mandala, right? But speaking from the direct fucking center of the mandala, right? After I did the accomplishment of Hayagriva and Vajrayogini, conducted the sacred marriage that reinstated the nation of Israel with Sam Thor. Prior to that, having done the same thing to assume the kingship of Shambhala with Kelley, right? And then to have assumed it through the descent of endship by the operation with Elizabeth. Like, I fucking Marduked this whole thing, dude. And it happened in a way that is so backdoor and so outside of the conceptions of anybody who might also aspire to the same thing. You know, like a full and total rewrite of the cosmos in a beneficial way that is basically hella happy hummingbirds, normal lost sisters kind of vibe. You know, Dakini land. It's so backdoor that you couldn't detect it, let alone stop it. And so, I mean, it's already happened. And, ladies, I want to thank you. Yeah, we're all fucking married in the eyes of the spiritual world. Get it.